Okay, well, welcome everybody. We have the wonderful Vermont League of Cities and Towns Municipal Operations Support Team with us here. And this is Southern Vermont Economy Project and Knowledge Bites webinar. We do these periodically just to bring resources to our doorstep in Southern Vermont. We just really want to invite all towns to understand the work that VLCT is doing that's sort of different than what VLCT has done maybe traditionally, but it's a fantastic resource for towns. And so we've got this amazing team here ready to talk to you. Just a little bit about Southern Vermont Economy Project. We are a project that's supported by the USDA, Rural Community Development Initiative, and our mission is to help build capacity for local projects for municipalities, local groups, nonprofits in Southern Vermont. So that's what we do. And we will share all these materials with everyone and post the recording to our website after we're done. So with that, I think I'm going to start with Katie, and then maybe the team can introduce themselves.
Excellent. Thanks, Meg. Thanks for inviting us here today. We're really glad to be here. My name's Katie Buckley. I am Director of the Municipal Operations Support Team for Vermont League of Cities and Towns, VLCT. It's a mouthful, so we call ourselves MOS, which is a lot easier to say. For municipal operations support, and we love our acronyms. And the entire MOS team is here today. So we're small but mighty. There's 4 of us. It's joined with me. I have Marguerite Ladd, who is a government finance specialist, Kathleen Ramsey, who is our municipal operations specialist, and Bonnie Waninger, who is our project and funding specialist. We want to thank you all for taking time out of your busy schedules to be here. And we know it's a big commitment, and we appreciate that. And hopefully you'll learn some things from us today that will help support your work in your municipality. So maybe you've heard of Vermont League of Cities and Towns, maybe you haven't. We thought a brief overview of VLCT would be helpful so you can understand how our team fits in. So I'll run through the slides pretty quickly, but know, as Meg said, she'll share the deck with you. And know that in our deck, there's lots of links and hidden and not so hidden treasures. So when you get your deck, hover the mouse over and you'll find links to lots of great resources on our website. So, VLCT, we're a member-owned, nonprofit, nonpartisan organization that was founded in 1967. We are almost 60 years old. It's hard to believe. And our mission is simple. It's serving and strengthening local government. All 247 towns and cities are VLCT members, and then another 144 units of municipal government are associate members. That can include fire districts, regional planning commissions, all different other government entities that are municipal. All VLCT members pays dues, which gives them access to a variety of services and resources, most of which, and the most valuable of which, are our staff people. We are most commonly referred to as VLCT or the League, but we're actually comprised of 3 connected but separate entities. There's Vermont League of Cities and Towns, and then our 2 insurance trusts, our Property and Casualty Intermunicipal Fund, and our Employment Resource and Benefits, our VERB Trust. We provide a full range of services specifically for Vermont municipalities and adapt those services when necessary to meet current needs of the membership. There's a lot on this slide, I know. A lot of information. But let's just summarize it by saying that if you have a question about nearly any aspect of running your municipality, we have an answer for you, or we know who does have the answer and we can connect you. So it'll either be us, you can find it on our website, or some combination thereof, but don't be shy in reaching out. I mentioned already that the biggest value for members is by far our people. We have a lot of expertise on our team to support municipalities with our MOS team, and then everybody else who is on Team VLCT. There's about 53 staff people. We have our team particularly, we're practitioners. We are a team of people who have been boots on the ground, working for and with Vermont municipalities for decades. We have attorneys on staff for VLCT who specialize in municipal and employment law. We have loss control staff who help our members identify and mitigate risk. We have lobbyists who make sure the voice of local government is not only heard but amplified in the legislature. We have staff with specialties in law enforcement, human resources, government finance, municipal management, project funding, you name it. We have lots of depth. We answer thousands of questions every year through email, phone, text through our online member access portal. Our website is available 24/7, 365, jam-packed with almost everything you need to know to run your municipality and more, right at your fingertips. We also have a robust offering of education, training, and information sharing opportunities for municipal officials through webinars, in-person events, and on-demand sessions. This is a plug, full disclosure. Our biggest event every year is Town Fair. It's a blast. It's our hallmark event, annual conference. It's designed by and for local officials. It offers learning opportunities, incredible networking opportunities, access to state officials, exhibitors, vendors. It's awesome. It's usually around first week of October, depending upon if we can find a venue. And it will be October 7th, 2026. We already know that. It will be at the DoubleTree in South Burlington. So mark your calendar. Registration's not available yet, a little too early, but put it in your calendar, spend the day with us and connect with your peers. It's an awesome event, lots of fun, and we always have a great keynote. So, who does VLCT serve? Our customer base is huge because Vermont's local government is huge. What is often forgotten or overlooked, which I'm sure everyone on this webinar today knows, is the engine of Vermont local government is largely fueled by volunteers. They are not professional or career politicians or have degrees in public finance or administration. These are people who have stepped up and stepped in to serve at a time when running a municipality is growing ever more complex. Local officials are doing the best they can and are struggling with capacity and dealing with this complexity. That's where municipal operations support. The team can help. MOS can help. So who are we? The four of us who are here today. We are VLCT's newest team, and we're only about a year and a half old, the four of us together. So we're pretty young. But between us, we have over 70 years of combined experience as practitioners in local government. I'm going to pass the talking baton over, and each of us will tell you a little bit more about ourselves, and then we'll bring it back home with some resources at the end that we can share with you, and do some question and answer. And so, Marguerite, is it okay if I pass your way? And I
Yes,
will
absolutely.
take you to your slots.
Great. Thank you. My name is Marguerite Ladd. As Katie said, I'm the government finance specialist for MOS here at VLCT. Look at those acronyms abound. We love them. We do. Um, as the government finance specialist in this team, and then also for VLCT, excuse me, provide general finance assistance to our members, including responding to inquiries. As Katie mentioned, we get lots of questions from how do I budget, right down to I have a lease and I'm not sure how to book this. Which part do I debit? Which part do I credit? What is that? So everything from high up to the very detailed, specifically around finance is what I deal with. I have a class that I am currently teaching, a pilot course for new treasurers and some seasoned treasurers as well. And again, just teaching the basics up to even some of the more advanced sort of concepts for those who are ready and want to take that on, but also ensuring that all of the accounting and those questions are getting covered as well. I also am working one of the large tasks for our grant that we received to run MOS is to overall build resilience in financial literacy, and resilience within that can include capital planning or what that looks like in order to better serve your community in emergencies, but also overall that financial stewardship, talking about that and what else you can do in your town currently to help make sure that we are all being good financial stewards of those taxpayer dollars. So, like I said, concepts that are kind of large and overview bird's eye all the way down to some of the details. Do I have a next slide, Katie? Yes, okay, great. Katie also mentioned we have lots and lots of resources online. That does not stop at the finance area. We have guidance documents for budgeting, cash management, debt management, audits, financial procedure templates. Something that we're working on and growing in this team is different Excel documents that you can download and use right away. If you're going to set the tax rate, if you want to talk to your boards or stakeholders about specific options you have, and you really want to see what those impacts will be, those are some of the tools that we have been populating onto our website most recently under the finance to really help you all be able to understand and explain that impact to those stakeholders, whoever that may be at whatever public meeting you're in at the time. I also provide one-on-one municipal finance assistance and review people's financial policies or budgets or planning documents. Do that for folks as well. Make sure best practices are considered with all of those as they move forward. And of course, I have a Money Matters series that is a webinar series that goes during the year that talks about current issues or topics folks have requested to cover. And that goes almost every other month. We'll see what the season is for this next year coming up. And then, of course, other workshops that VLCT puts on, I generally am a part of, or potentially maybe with the Bond Bank at the Capitol Forum, planning those types of things. So you can see me around in some of those other financial arenas. And I'm there just talking about all of the numbers. So that's what I like to do and do best. So, yeah.
Tell us a little about your background and some of the things that you currently do outside of VLCT, which
Okay,
are
great.
relevant to this, if you don't mind.
No, not at all.
Because it's
Um,
impressive.
yes, so I started in municipal finance and the town of Cambridge, Vermont. I was their very first TA there, and they were, it's a small to medium-sized town for Vermont, but it is a resort town, and so it has its own sort of uniqueness to it in that way. And we saw the select board move from 3 to 5 there, and again, being the first person in that role, it was a really amazing learning and just really fulfilling work. I then moved on to be the deputy manager for the town and city or then village of Essex Junction, which is now a city. And during my tenure there, that is when the split happened. And so I ended up with the town, not the city on that end, at the very end of that stint. And now I'm here at VLCT. I also am the Women Leading the Government chair on the board of directors for that organization as well.
And VTGFOA?
And I am on the board, yes, thank you, of VTGFOA. Yes, nope, that's
Happy to help. So,
and then
great.
outside of VLCT, I mostly just hang out with my daughter, who's 3, and we do all kinds of shenanigans, and we love to be outside. And yeah, that's me.
Awesome. Thank you. Kathleen, I think you're next.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Kathleen Ramsey, Municipal Operations Specialist at VLCT. I came to VLCT about a year and a half ago after a 35-year career in town management in college towns, resort towns, and small towns. And some of those are overlapping. Anyway, I work closely with my team to provide coaching for municipal officials. I work with select boards on staffing proposals, worked with several on town administrator positions and shared town administrator positions. And I also do some work in disaster preparedness and recovery. I'll have some resources online. Next slide, Katie, please.
Can you see that?
Yes, thank you.
Great.
So here are just a few of my resources that are available on our website. I have a segment and some resources on select board onboarding and orientation with a refresher coming up in early February. Resources for hiring your first town administrator or select board administrative assistant, hiring for DPW and highway, hiring for recreation programs. It's just around the corner. The summer is coming. So think about that now. disaster and storm preparedness and recovery, and communication tools for building community and trust. That is the last one that I did, and that is full of lots of tips. So I'd highly encourage you to take a look at that one. And then I'm always available for one-on-one meetings, either in person or via Teams. And I answer all sorts of inquiries uh, about our resources. And I also help to develop new resources for people. If we don't have exactly what you need it tailored. I do a lot of work helping you with that. Thank you.
Thanks, Kathleen. Bonnie, just tell me when to advance the slide.
There you go. Okay. So I am the project and funding specialist. And just as a bit of background, I worked for, I don't know, 25 to 30 years with regional planning commissions in Vermont, first as a project person and then eventually as executive director at a few RPCs. But my role is to help you all take your ideas to a shovel-ready implementation project, whether that's construction or whether it's a program. So how do you move through that, both with project development and funding? That involves a lot of coaching. Most towns look for outside funding to maximize their resources. So what are those state and federal funding requirements? And that can be setting up policies in advance. All three of us can help you depending on the policy. And carrying you through, if you have a program audit, how do you resolve those? And usually those are related to things like procurement policy and conflict of interest. And then finally, building a variety of tools and hosting trainings and publishing resources, all aimed at bolstering project development skills and grant related skills. And as we move into the new calendar year, happy January to you all here shortly. We'll be focusing on the Community Housing and Infrastructure Program, or the CHIP program. And next slide, please, Katie. Sorry. Kinds of resources you might find on the site, website related to project and funding opportunities are various ways of where can I get money? So what's open now? And then grants and funding by topic. I have a town building I want to upgrade. What's the world of possibilities for me? And we combine that with one-on-one consultations where we take the world of possibilities and tailor it down to your project so that you're not spending time on funding applications that you aren't going to win an award or your project's not eligible. And then there's, I can help you with grant compliant documents like model policies and contracts, sam.gov, frequently asked questions. We also have some resources on our site about if your town doesn't have the capacity it needs to write or manage grants, who can you turn to and what can you do? Who are your free resources? Who are your for-fee resources? And then we ran over the past year or two, both a grant basics webinar series for those new to grants, or if you just need a checkup, as well as grants and funding chats that was focused at particular topics like wastewater. And you can access those recorded presentations on our website. Helping people use those federal energy tax credits. And if you're intending to use them, you are eligible as municipalities. You want to do that soon. You need to have your project started by next July. And then again, similar to Kathleen, guiding people through FEMA public assistance requirements. Depending on the question, you'll have one of us or both of us. We put together an improved accessibility toolkit to help you understand your requirements under the Americans with Disability Act and how to complete the planning portion. And as I mentioned, moving into 2026, we'll start building resources on the website related to the Community Housing and Infrastructure Program.
Awesome. Thanks, Bonnie. And it comes back to me in my role. As director, I lead this awesome new team. I had the great pleasure of being the first one in. And what's really unique about our team is we're all grant funded. We are not funded by member dues at all. And this means we're constantly chasing the next funding source to advance our work and help our members with the hot topic du jour. So that's really like how we we got started in 2021 with the ARPA grant. I joined VLCT then to assist members with their ARPA funding. About $200 million went directly to Vermont municipalities. And for the first couple of years of my role, I think I was known as the ARPA lady. I don't even think people knew my name. I need that ARPA lady to help me. And before joining VLCT, I had a bit of a twisty career for nearly a decade. I was a town administrator like Marguerite, small town, first town administrator. So you sort of paved the road, no pun intended. That's a municipal pun. And after a few years, I spent time as developer of affordable housing, and then a couple of years as the commissioner for the Vermont Department of Housing and Community Development, along with some local nonprofit work. So touched a lot of community projects, a lot of municipal projects throughout my career. When the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law and Inflation Reduction Act passed and all that funding was raining down from the federal government, we got a grant that allowed us to bring on Bonnie. So she was the second MOS member before we were even MOS. And then there was Municipal Technical Assistance Program funding that allowed us to play a role in the flood recovery effort. That sort of all collided at the same moment. And typically we didn't sort of play in that space, but we did thanks to that MTAP funding, and worked in cooperation with Vermont Emergency Management to make resources available. And through a really tricky time. Marguerite and Kathleen came on board about a year and a half ago. We got $1 million grant from USDA Rural Development, their disaster assistance fund, in partnership with USDA, the state of Vermont, and VLCT. And the purpose of that work specifically is to build operational capacity at the municipal level to understand, manage, and plan for disasters across the state of Vermont. And a lot of that is building that financial resiliency that Marguerite mentioned, and the tools and resources that both Bonnie and Kathleen mentioned. We were just awarded a grant through Northern Border Regional Commission to help our members access CHIP, as Bonnie mentioned a couple of times. So we get money, we bring on amazing people to help members, which is great because we were all members at one point. So we've played both sides of the coin there. And what I love most about our team is, of course, the incredible humans, but is that our work is incredibly dynamic to meet the evolving needs of Vermont's towns, cities, and villages every day. So I've said that our people are the prime value for members. I'm just going to keep saying that over and over. And that value in the people transfers into deep content that they produce on our website, which is accessible any moment of any day. One caveat there is that some of our content is gated and some isn't. So if you are a member of VLCT, you can get a sign-on and you can access all of it. If not, then you can only access that content, which is publicly funded through MOS's work, because we're paid for with grants, public money, access to the public.
Can you, Katie, talk about, sorry, just before you move on, how people would get access to that if they are a member, if they're a town? I think everyone who's on here are town administrators, but just if you were a select board member for a town, can you access those materials, and can they tell their select board members how to do that and how to get along?
Yes. And at the end, I'll step a little bit, maybe do a little cruise through on our website, and I will show you exactly where you can do that, where you can log in. And if you don't have a member account, you can, click quick link and get yourself set up and work with our member relations person to do that. So as we mentioned, lots of trainings. We have lots of trainings. In addition to our webinars, there are plenty of trainings that are offered through our other teammates at VLCT. We have advocacy chats every week during the legislative session, so you can stay plugged in with what's going to happen for changes in the law. We have attorney office hours where you can drop in and ask your legal questions. You can have that done live, and you can get your question answered and take off, or you can stay in and listen and learn from others. We have sessions to help for smooth transition for new select board members. That's Kathleen's one that she mentioned. That's the little arrow pointing to it on February 4th. So mark your calendar for that one. And everything right down to preparing for a successful town meeting to open meeting law and everything in between. And all of this stuff are clicks on our website. So if you hover over it, it'll click and take you there. We kicked off last year a new campaign to promote working for local government, because working for local government is a great job. It's called Vermont Town Careers. And while much of Vermont local government runs on volunteer, they're great paying jobs too. So, this is us and our contact information if you ever want to reach out to us. And we could not thank our sponsors for our Business Alliance program, who are big supporters of the league's work. So, I am gonna stop sharing the deck and was gonna try and screen share our website. I don't know if there's any questions while I'm fumbling to navigate to get to the website.
Yeah, so feel free if you have questions, drop them in the chat or just unmute yourself and ask them. If you're a town person and you're like, wait, how do I get to Kathleen? Go ahead.
So one of the questions I hear is, how do I connect with you? So email, call us, any one of us, and we'll get you where you need to be. So don't be bashful because you don't know who to contact.
Hi, this is Eileen. I guess this is more of a comment than a question. I used to be able to find like templates for policies and procedures and ordinances and such like pretty easily on your site, and I've been having a lot of trouble finding those now.
Oh, we all have. Even those of us who work here. So
All right.
we're fear not. We appreciate your patience and we apologize. Two ways that we're trying to tackle that is we're actually going to be implementing a Muni bot, I think. I can't remember. Is that MuniPal, excuse
Yeah.
me. And so it's using AI to basically search our site for us. And so it will help you find information on our site because our search engine doesn't work great. And the second piece of that is that we are going through some changes to our website in 2026. And a big part of that, hopefully, will be a new vendor with improved searchability of our site because it's really hard to find things. And if you get stuck, reach out, we'll help you find it. So
I
that's,
always do. It's just, I'd
yeah,
rather
don't be
just go and
shy, like
search and
Kathleen.
find the
No,
thing and
definitely. All right, let me see if I can screen share here again. Forgive me.
And while you're doing that, believe it or
Thank
not,
you.
one of the things I find is that sometimes it's easier to go to the general internet, just the open web search and type in VLCT something policy rather than be within the website itself. For some reason, that seems to work better than the internal search engine.
Are you able to see
Yep, we can see that.
our website? Okay, great. So I'm actually going to log out because I am logged in. So if you're a member and you have a sign on to our website, you would go to log in and you would sign in just like that. If you didn't or you forgot your password, there are instructions right here to get an account. And so if you sign in, you will have access to some of those templates that you mentioned. You might need to log in to get access to those templates. You won't just be able to search on the site. So if you go to any of these, I'm just going to go back to the home page and do a quick walkthrough. We have a roller bar with some of our bigger stories and issues on it that you can click through. Town meeting this time of year is always a huge one. It always makes it to the front page. This is the second tab is about Vermont Town Careers, which we mentioned, our on-demand training, which you can go there and download and watch any of our trainings. You can ask a question, go in through our municipal access portal and type it through there. And you can go to the classifieds. You can find where jobs are and what's being listed or post your job for free. We have news. Bonnie is a big creator of news items for our team. So she keeps that stocked. Our resources are our permanent tools, information on our website that you can go, they don't get stale. They stay on our website and you can access all of our resources through the tab up here. Just click it and it'll take you to our resource library where you can search by category. So if you wanted I actually need to log in, I think, to show more. So give me a second. Hmm. I might not be able to get in because I have different access. Oh, let me see. There we go. Great. So when you log in, you'll get your member dashboard. Um, but I'm going to go back to the resources tab, which is where a lot of great information lives. So if you want that, you know, model, anything, and just click apply, all of the model policies that we have are there. Anything that's a model tool template policy is there. So play around with it. I think the most valuable is the category or the topic. I typically pick one or the other and just hit apply and a whole bunch of information will come up and it's pretty easy to find what you need in there. Um, we also have topics where if you go there, you can just sort of pull by topic. So if you want information on town meeting, you can just go there, click the box, and you'll be taken to, sorry, my internet's slow. Maybe because it's working too hard. Maybe I should close some things down. There we go. And so you'll have information on the page. Oftentimes, there'll be documents to accompany it that will be in this orange box over here. And then related links. And you can also download pages if you wanted to do that. Our team, Municipal Operations Support, is here. Everyone kind of has a box, like finance is Marguerite. So if you click there, and we're constantly adding information and building out these pages. Kathleen, this kind of tends to be your section that you include. And on every page are training and learning opportunities. Marguerite mentioned Money Matters. Kathleen did Muni Mornings. Bonnie did some Build a Better project and grants and funding and grant basics. And you can click through to those and it will bring you to a page that has all of them on it. The recording is there. The slide deck is there. They're also posted on the side over here. So you can go through and see on that webinar that Kathleen mentioned, the communication tools for building community and trust, the November 13th webinar, and all the materials are right there. And you can go through and see all of them that were done throughout the last year. And you have access to all of those as a member. We have, this is the classified page I mentioned. It is the #1 page for hits on our website. It blows my mind that that is true, but it is true. So it has, if, like I said, if you need to post a job for your municipality, it's free for members and it is very frequented. So it's a great place to do that. See, Town of Londonderry has an RFP on there.
Yep, just posted that.
Thank you. Mhm. Our training I mentioned, we try and do a robust training calendar. Things change. It's not perfect. We might have to cancel some, we might have to add some, but we'll do that throughout the year and try and keep this calendar updated here. But it will give you a sense of what's on the horizon, the rhythm of events, maybe what you'd want to mark your calendars for. But we try and build this out, and it is a work in progress. A lot of our events are webinars. Our training for 2025 and 2026 for our webinars has been free. Our USDA funding allowed us to subsidize the registration fee for our members so that all training was free. We've seen a massive uptick in attendance, which has been great, which really shows that, you know what, if you can offer training for free, people will actually do it. Whereas if you have to pay for it, it's hard to find that money. So we're looking into trying to make that a permanent thing. I don't know if we'll be able to, but we're certainly exploring it. What else can I show? Advocacy, I mentioned. Throughout the legislative session, they do weekly legislative reports. It's a great way to keep up with what's going on. It's issued, I think every Monday they produce them, and so you can get them emailed to you, and they'll be right in your inbox if you wanted to touch down and see what's happening on the Hill throughout the session. We have quick tools, some information about logging on right there. If you need to ask a question, you can just go right there and click to it. And if you're signed in, you can put a question in our municipal access portal. It will create this thing called an action item that we all have visibility to, all on our team. And we will respond to. You can also email, you can also call, you can also text. Whatever is your communication method of choice, we just want to make sure that we assist. So what else can I share? What am I missing?
And are there specific questions that people may have come with? I feel like this is you guys just do so much. It's amazing. So it's a terrific resource. We'll shout it from the rooftops, but are there people on the call that have needed something? They didn't know where to find it. Is this helpful? Do you have specific needs? Feel free. You've got them right now. They can answer. No one has anything specific. I mean, feel free to, we'll have a moment of silence. You can unmute and just ask.
I've been trying to find a model roads policy. I don't know if you have that.
We have a class 4 one. I don't know if we have a.
Yeah, this would be more for class 3 and above. Oh, and I was also just asked last night to investigate an impact fee ordinance. Do you have that?
I have that. I don't believe so.
I know a bunch of towns that have one, so I can go steal somewhere else.
And yeah, what is it? Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. I lived by that for a long, long time.
Make sure you put the right town on it.
Yeah, exactly.
So great. Search and find and replace. I would call it search and destroy, but find and replace is very important. Yes, I see that class 4, you went by the class 4 road policy on there, but yeah.
It's right here. I don't think, and I don't know if, I'm pretty sure we don't have one.
Okay.
And I see Kathleen nodding. She's
also. Would VTrans have something?
That's a great question.
We're trying to update ours. It's old.
VTrans has road and bridge standards. That's part of your emergency relief fund.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know that they've updated it since 2019 though.
You might also ask your RPC, your transportation planner at your RPC, if they know of a town that has a really good road policy.
Okay, I'll do that.
Yep.
Yeah, Colin would know, Colin Bratton.
And the beautiful thing is, you don't have to, if you think of something after you jump off this call, you have our contact information. So you can ask any one of us.
I have all sorts of needs.
I mean, I think everyone does. I'm particularly interested in, I think communication tools is something that comes up for a lot of towns because that's really complex. So Kathleen, thank you so much for that. I'm gonna go watch that webinar myself just for fun. But I think that's something that comes up a lot. And I think something else that comes up is, I don't know, do you get asked about sharing services? Because I feel like that's something that is sort of in the water, people are exploring, but there's not a lot of, like, the regional planning commissions haven't developed a lot of policies there. So if that's something that, towns need help creating model policies and models for, is that something you have, Kathleen?
That is something we're starting to work on. And if anybody has an initiative that they're working on, have them contact me and I'll help.
Great. Yeah, I think that's sort of emerging, and it's something so that it's like that's where people, once it's been done a few times, you have more to sort of go back and look at. So that's fantastic. We'll direct them to say that's a great resource, is Vermont League of Cities and Towns, because at the regional planning commission level, it's not exactly in their purview, they feel like. So I think that's something great to tackle at the state level. So that's fantastic. Anything else? Paula or Marjorie, you guys have any questions, anything? And also, I will say, shameless plug, because we're sort of getting to the end of our 45 minutes, I will drop in the chat. We will, as actually Katie mentioned, that she and Bonnie will be at our event. So we have a municipal leaders network that we've been convening in-person events in Southern Vermont. So we have one that's economic development in your town, or economic development for every town, I should say. And part of that is we're going to be talking about CHIP and sort of housing development and getting support for housing development and what is the town's role. So we will have the EPC here to talk about CHIP and what that's going to look like and show you where to find information. Katie and Bonnie will also be there. So that's been rescheduled. It snowed on December 2nd. It sure did. I was hoping it would not, but it did. And so we rescheduled that for January 14th. So we'll be in Wilmington. It's a morning event. We'll have coffee and bagels for you and lots of great conversation and opportunities to ask questions in person. So that link is there. Feel free to sign up and you can come down or send somebody from your town. That's a great opportunity. So we'll be continuing to have those opportunities for municipal leaders to gather quarterly-ish. So our next opportunity will be actually through our Southern Vermont Economy Summit, which is happening on May 12th. And then we'll probably plan something in June. You know, I think VLCT has been having select board get-togethers. If that happens, we try and do it early in Windham. So last year it was Windham region was in March, and then in Bennington region, I think it was later. Maybe hasn't happened yet, or just happened.
I think it just happened.
Just happened. Okay.
Yeah, I think Kathleen has attended all of those for the most part. I think all of them except maybe one. All over the state.
Yeah, so it's just a lot of opportunities for towns to kind of gather. So we encourage you to take advantage of all this great material. We'll, of course, put this on our website and I will share it with everyone who registered. So everyone will get to see it, even if they weren't able to attend live. And we'll share the slides. So you'll have all those links. And then again, you'll have direct contact information for everyone, Marguerite, Kathleen, Bonnie, and Katie, and just please use them as a resource. I think is the main message here is that there are a lot of resources and don't feel shy. Don't feel like any question is a good question. Local government is really complicated and you don't have to do it on your own. You've got help.
Absolutely. Yeah, you have backup. Yeah.
Any other questions or wrap up from you guys? I mean, I'm just so impressed with everything that's available. So it's just great to have you here and great to have you do what you do.
And if you think of something that we don't have that you would like to see us create or have, let us know and we'll see if we can produce it or a resource or whatever it is. Let us know. Thanks for having us.
Okay, and Rachel, do we have a date for our next Knowledge Bites? We do, correct? If you go to, actually, I'll just take us to our website. Oh, yes, we do. We also have a nonprofit. So anyone who's doing nonprofit work, we will have our next one is Finding Your Next Executive Director, Succession Planning for Small Nonprofits. You can see the Southern Vermont Economy Project. We do a lot of things. So we work in the nonprofit space as well as the municipal space. So tell your friends who are on nonprofits, and maybe that's just something else you do. We are going to bring in a great consultant to talk about that. And we will keep putting up new topics. I feel like communication tools is a great topic to explore. It's on our list for our municipal leader network. So I'm going to go watch that webinar and we'll keep working on that. And so with that, I think that's all we have for today, unless anyone has a question they want to ask live. Good. All right. Well, with that, I think we will thank you guys so much for coming. We'll get this shared out and hopefully you get a lot of inquiries from some of them. I mean, I know you're very busy, but we love to see people using the tools that are available to them. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you.